Welcome to 303 Hoops, a whole lot more than the box score. For you hoop junkies, number nerds, or just someone who loves basketball, this is for the love of the game. Live from 303, and how could you not love basketball right now?
Right.
I'm Ryan Hinsky.
And I'm Caleb Bunch, everyone. We have a good episode. Not too much that we have to cover in the sense of too many topics, but a lot has been happening in the basketball world. NBA playoffs well underway, obviously. We've seen a lot of games out of a lot of teams. We have game sevens that seem to be coming up. We don't know, but
Draft lotteries
happened.
combine.
A lot's happened, but
In here, Chicago, draft combine.
you had the opportunity to go.
Yeah, it was epic.
Exactly.
Cool.
So we have a lot to cover in a short amount of time, so let's waste no more and let's get right into the first segment, which is always our song of the day. Ryan, I see your song. Tell us.
I picked Guatemala from Ray Shrimmer, their third album, I believe.
Yeah,
Ray Shrimp 3.
Shrimp Life 3? Yeah.
Really great album. It was my favorite of theirs, and I know that that's a hot take because 2 is probably most people's favorite, or even earlier
Just the
in their
OG.
career.
Just the OG Shrimp Life 1.
I caught them more on the end of their prime.
Yeah.
But I loved this album. I would listen to it on road trips, and Guatemala's got
It's a good one.
I like Get You from the Train Station. I don't know why.
Hey, he's blessing us.
Yeah, literally.
Hey,
yeah.
man.
Like pick you up from a train station. That's interesting.
That's a bar.
Yeah, it's a bar.
That's a bar, though. But yeah, no, Shrimp Life 3 is great.
Yeah.
That was the double disc one, right? Like it was half Slim Jimmy and half Sway Lee, right? So,
And Sway Lee's half was better.
way better. Way better. Sorry, Slim
Respectfully.
Jimmy.
Yeah.
But you can't be Ray Shrimmer without the other. So
It's true.
But I do like that album. It's good. I think the first one's my favorite. But that's maybe it's a hot take. Maybe it's not. I don't know. But
It's not.
my song of the day, a little different. Spotify has this trend going around where you can see like your history on the app. So I just chose my very first. Yeah. Like if you pull up Spotify, you can like see like when you first downloaded the app, your first song that you listened to, most listened to artist ever. And so,
Wow.
yeah, my song is from that. Apparently, in 2018, my very first song was "Boot Up" by LMA. I don't.
Wow.
know. Apparently,
I love that.
I don't know if that's true.
That's a great song.
I don't know how they like measure this. This is when you got like premium, because that's probably when I started paying for premium on my own. But I don't know. So "Boot Up" was my first song. So that's my song of the day. Very different than what I normally would pick as my song of the day. But LMA, keep finding the good fight, keep making good music. If that's what makes Jason Tatum a good basketball player.
And I got to pick a Michael Jackson song soon, but I haven't seen the movie yet, so I got to go.
You gotta see it. You gotta see it.
I know. I do.
Yeah.
But that's a good pick. I love that song.
LMA.
Okay, so Caleb, you have the privilege of not really loving a specific NBA team.
Yeah. Just
To the
enjoying
point where
playoffs.
you are actually standing on your, hands on knees, down like a coach on a sideline,
Yes.
watching the screen this close to you.
Yeah, exactly. I get it.
As time winds down. And it's not so often that someone who is a fan of a specific team has this like folklore hero that they feel a specific connection to.
Right.
But as a Cavs, I'm coming out as a diehard Cavs fan. They are my team. They are the one team that,
Yeah, like this isn't new.
I haven't worn merch yet, but it's getting to that point where like next week, a week from now, if we're still in it,
Right.
take a game in Madison Square Garden, you'll see me with a Max Strus jersey on.
Yeah, DePaul legend.
DePaul legend. That's what I meant with the personal connection.
Yeah, man.
I haven't felt this bond with a player since I'm on Shumpert.
Are you gonna get the man bun like he has going?
No.
Dude, that man bun is horrible.
It's bad, but he's hooping.
It's like man bun, but then it's like still flowy behind. It's crazy.
Half up, half down. What are we doing?
Like, what are we doing? But he was hooping
He's
yesterday. So, guys, if you haven't guessed what we're going to talk about for this segment, we're going to talk about playoffs, specifically last night, Detroit, Cleveland. That's the game when I was referring to Game 7. We're probably getting a Game 7 out of them because I think Detroit will bounce back.
Okay.
But what have you seen out of this series, Ryan, that you're happy about, you're sad about, right? Because this has been kind of a roller coaster series for you as a Cavs fan. And honestly, for Pistons fans, the same thing, right?
Yeah.
They're up 2-0, and then it's like, uh-oh. the Cavs, they were down 3-2.
And the Cavs couldn't win on the road in large part thanks to Donovan Mitchell's performances on the road.
But now
subpar.
They have been. But they won last night. They got the one game that they needed.
And he was great in overtime. And that was the separator.
Right.
And
he was bad in
it's always going to be
four.
Donovan Mitchell from this point on, from the Pistons series on.
Yeah.
It's always going to have to be him. But I have really enjoyed the supporting cast being able to step up in ways that they weren't when we were coached by J.B. Bickerstaff, which was Darius Garland dealing with injuries and not having the synergy with Donovan Mitchell that you want. Obviously, the defensive shortcomings as well, whereas James Harden can guard. He can when he needs.
He wants to. When he wants to.
Yeah,
yeah. When
he
wants
a lot of it's conserving energy, so he's not guarding the way he wants to.
And he's a lot bigger than Garland,
right?
Not only in terms of height, but also obviously he's bigger in that sense as well. Where
but they're not switch hunting him,
right?
They're switch
not like
hunting Mitchell and Sam Merrill,
right?
But even then, it's better than Garland.
Yeah.
So. One of the biggest takeaways I have is that we would not be here without James Harden.
Yeah,
certainly. Players like Max Strus, you get him from the Heat. He has the playoff experience. He plays hard, but he had just come off a poor shooting performance in those playoffs with the Heat.
Yeah,
where they advanced past the. I think that was the year that they
went to the finals.
So I don't think that was the year they. Maybe it was the year they went to the finals.
Yeah,
and he had a great
and
run.
Gabe Vincent.
Yeah, Gabe Vincent, who fell off a cliff after that.
I know, it's crazy.
And maybe the same would have happened with Strus, but that's not the case. He was out half the season with ACL or whatever ankle injury he had. Comes back, plays great, and is that X factor for the Cavs in that moment. And you have other guys that can do that too. Jared Allen, big performance in Game 7 against the Raptors. That was the Jared Allen show.
Yeah.
Same with the last game. Exactly. The lights aren't
too bright anymore.
And I heard Mike Breen say last night that Jared Allen is one of the most serviceable players that just comes in and works day in, day out.
He knows his role.
He knows his role, and he's a great player to have on your team.
Yeah.
Same with Max Strus. Yeah. The roster construction is really showing its teeth, and it feels like the Pistons with their 3-center rotation, it worked out when they put Paul Reed in, another DePaul legend. The DePaul guys are really showing out in this series. I mean, he literally did it by himself in Game 4 and Game 5.
He did.
They put Paul Reed in. They're coming back.
I know.
But it really just came down to the last moments, and I trust Cleveland more, even though Cade Cunningham has been
He's amazing.
Insane.
He's amazing. He's really good. And what I've seen out of Detroit is that you are one piece away. I think I don't know how the series is going to go. I do think Cleveland's going to end up winning it. Well, I had them in the conference finals, so did you as well. Obviously, we didn't have them playing the Knicks, but it is what it is. But I do think that Detroit, regardless of how the series goes, very happy with what they have. They're ahead of schedule, right? We've talked about this multiple times on the pod. And the defense that you have seen out of Asar Thompson this series, Donovan Mitchell, he has been having problems all game. He had problems all first 4 quarters besides the overtime, obviously. He was 4-14 at one point and primarily guarded by Asar. And even the last possession we saw when he was trying to, cut through the lane, a little slap through by Asar, got the deflection.
He was picked 5th, right? That's what the
Yeah.
Cavs wanted out of Isaac Okoro.
Yeah.
Perfect defender. I mean,
It's crazy.
insane. He had that block against Jared Allen in the fourth quarter.
In the same game, yeah.
Where his head was at the basket.
I know. And
blocking
then,
a 7-footer on
and
a
then
hook shot.
Dennis kicked it to him to then dunk it.
And
Like
Dennis
crazy.
Jenkins has been
Hooper. We talked about him in our first episode.
Because
hit the 3 to send it to overtime.
Season opener, he was came into the game and was amazing.
Yeah, Dennis
forced
Jenkins,
overtime.
man.
Yeah.
On the 2-way to begin the year, man, or the 10-day, whatever it was.
Get
But
this man paid.
Get him paid. He is valuable to that team. But Cleveland, I've enjoyed what I've seen out of them. Like you said, they've had role players that have stepped up. Max Strus, big game yesterday, 6 of 8 from 3. He was chucking them up. They were going in. Even Merrill hit a corner 3 that was really big to extend kind of the lead that they had. So they
I
were
think
able
that was Strus to Merrill too.
It might have been
an
Strus
assist.
and Merrill. Yeah. So it was just like moments that I was like, okay, Cleveland's having role players that stepped up that in the past we hadn't seen. Like obviously with the Orlando series that we've referenced before hasn't been the case. So I've been pleased with what I've seen out of them, and Atkinson making the like correct adjustments as well.
Yeah.
With this series, right? 0-2, but not fretting too much. Still relying on James Harden and Donovan Mitchell, the two players you have for a reason.
Yeah.
They're going to give you and guide you that.
But they'll go to these moments where they do Evan Mobley in the short roll.
Yeah.
And then he'll find a shooter when it's that kind of lineup, or he'll lob it to Allen.
Right.
Mobley, although there's been talk, I know Bill Simmons went on the Ringer and was like questioning Evan Mobley's career outlook at this point, because his contract kicks in next season.
And he's going to get paid.
And he already did.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
his
he
contract
did get paid.
Kicks in. He's got a max 5-year deal.
Right, because of Depoy. Because of Depoy. Yeah.
So, and that makes sense, right? I mean, at his age, like now he's 24. So like now there was all this talk about him, and he, as a passer, has come a long way this season.
Yeah.
Big to big passing, making the right decision. He still doesn't have the handle to go one-on-one.
Right.
They were trying to do it a little bit with him.
Yeah.
But I like the handoffs with him and Harden. And then sometimes he'll do a pick and pop and hit a three. He's hit threes better than he has all season. I think when the Cavs were down double digits, he was the guy that hit the three that brought us down 7, and then came all the way back.
He hit 2 threes at the top of the key.
Top of the key.
Right, that same pick and roll or pick and pop motion that he was doing all game.
At least you have versatility, whereas you don't have versatility with Jared Allen. He can't shoot. He doesn't have like the turnaround jumper.
No.
So you got to get that.
Yeah.
You can't have two guys in 2026 that can't do it.
That can't do that, yeah.
So I think he's had an underrated series.
Yeah.
I don't think he's ever going to be the guy that's averaging 28 in a playoff series.
He doesn't need to be.
It's fine.
But if you're with Donovan, you don't really need to be, right?
Yeah,
like
max player too, like Jaren Jackson.
Yeah,
when they were having those runs.
And
Domantas Sabonis.
Yeah. Would you rather have? And I assume you would rather have Mobley than JJ.
At this point, yes.
Yeah. So it's like, yeah.
He doesn't get into foul trouble like JJ. I'm not concerned about his build going into older age.
Right.
Like he's a lot.
JJ's shorter.
Yeah.
JJ's what, 6'8"? Around there, so
I think he's like 6'9", 6'10".
I don't think he's
maybe
6'10".
even. We gotta look this up.
Yeah, I don't think JJ's he's like 6'8", 6'9". He's shorter, but because I remember him.
But
coming
he plays bigger.
Yeah,
6'10".
exactly. Oh, he's 6'10"?
Yeah, 6'10".
Oh wow.
So like Jabari Smith build.
Yeah. I thought he was like 6'8", 6'9".
But still kind of undersized for a center.
Yeah, for someone who plays the 5 a lot
against Wemby.
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't know. I was very impressed with the win. I thought we were hanging in there and making the right adjustments. Some of the shots just weren't falling in the second half, whereas in the first half we were just turning the ball over like crazy because a lot of it has to do with players like Asar Thompson and Danish Jenkins and Paul Reed and Isaiah Stewart. Hustlers.
Yeah.
And Jalen Duren has struggled.
Yeah, struggled. I think the light's a little too bright. Like he was also ahead of schedule. Like no one expected him to have the year he did, and then he did. And he's kind of reverted back a little bit, taking a step back from the regular season that he had.
And he's not in the death lineup. He's not in the closing lineup.
Right.
Paul Reed is.
No. Like you can't. It's hard to trust him. Not necessarily the most consistent player, especially from the free throw line. So in those clutch moments is a little difficult because he can't create for his own shot either. So, but Tobias Harris, man.
Oh my goodness.
Tobias Harris. I'm like
his first half last night.
He's hitting every 3 in the corner.
Prime DeMar DeRozan.
I'm like, what is going on? Tobias, man, playing amazing in these playoffs.
Step back.
Even the first series that they won against Orlando, I'm like, he's not missing.
Turnaround, floater, push shot.
So
he's got a bag.
Yeah, man. Tobias Harris.
You're right, though.
So,
he's been great.
I do think Cleveland, they'll pull it out. You know, pause. But yeah, it was bad. But
and if we do, the Knicks don't want to see us coming. How are they going to defend?
That was bad.
How are the Knicks going to defend James Harden and Donovan Mitchell? There's no.
I don't know, man.
Jalen Brunson's.
They're going to be hunting. They're going to be hunting Brunson. But OG's been arguably the best player in the playoffs up to this point. Best plus minus in the playoffs up to this point. So, and providing value to his team that otherwise they wouldn't have that wing defender.
Yeah.
Like Mikal Bridges. I'm sorry, but you're not the same guy you were in Phoenix, man. I'm sorry, but
or even when he first got to New York,
or even when he first got to New York. But yeah,
they are stacked though.
They're good. They're good, but
I don't know.
We'll
The
see.
way that we played against them on Christmas Day and then we fell behind at the end thanks to Tyler Kolek, I feel like
Yeah.
we can win a 7-game.
That's fair. That's fair. It's possible.
Love Tyler Kolek, Marquette legend.
Legend.
Yeah.
My
Bennett Sturts is coming in to say, I'm going to be the next Tyler Kolek.
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't
can
be
see it.
surprised, man. My quick story, and then we'll move on. My sweet mate from college, Jalen Nixon. Jalen, if you're listening, shout out. He went to.
Jalen.
Yeah, he's not that good. He went to Milton Academy, which is in Massachusetts, and prep school that's in the same league as a lot of those like Northeast boarding schools. Tyler Kolek was in that league.
Okay.
He said from that moment he knew that Tyler Kolek was an NBA player and he didn't. So, hey man, Tyler Kolek's legit.
Similar story. First time I saw him play, I was like, wow.
Yeah,
And they beat DePaul by like 30 points.
Yeah.
He just
crazy.
was making shots from everywhere.
Yeah,
Just so scrappy, great motor. So, yeah, I think he hasn't played that much in the playoffs.
He hasn't. But he was playing in the regular season.
He
which
was
is kind
a
of
lot.
surprising. So
I think,
yeah.
resting and, yeah.
All right. But anyway, guys, we got one thing we got to discuss.
We do.
We got to talk
deal.
about it. Giannis, the Bucks, that marriage is not working.
No.
They're seeking a divorce. They have been looking for packages throughout the year. They stopped when the trade deadline came along, probably because they didn't see what they liked. But they are re-entering those negotiations with teams. So we've been talking about what packages would suffice for Giannis.
Talking is a nice way to
Yeah,
put it.
arguing about
Yeah.
what trade packages will work for Giannis. If you're the Bucks, if you're X team, like how are you going to get this done? It probably will end up being more than a 2-team deal just because of how much you're going to have to give up for Giannis.
Mm-hmm.
But Ryan and I were discussing this. Ryan, you and I obviously disagreed, but what is your take on that?
Well, I believe you liked the Tatum option
I think it makes sense.
more. And I understand where you're coming from there. I think Giannis and Jaylen Brown, though some lack of shooting between the two of them,
Yeah.
although Brown had an MVP level season.
Yeah.
Trading on the Bucks side. We talk about the Bucks side.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
From what do the Bucks want? That's the question that we're basically asking each other when we had this conversation argument a few days ago. And I feel like they have screwed themselves into oblivion trading for Kyle Kuzma and kind of just sticking with what they had. Even Bobby Portis, like as great as he played,
trade. That was a tough trade.
But the Kuzma trade was awful.
No, that's what I'm saying. Kuzma trade.
Yeah.
Kuzma trade
Awful.
was that. Whew.
And like it starts with you losing Drew Holiday and
Right.
you just can't find the replacement anywhere. Dame doesn't
Yeah.
work out. Really doesn't work out.
Yeah.
And now you have to cut your losses.
Yeah.
I think that there is not a win now option for them.
Okay, and that's why you think
That's
Tatum
our
is not.
fundamental disagreement.
Yeah.
Is that I don't think the window is open. I know that the East is weaker. I know that. But I still feel like there are a lot of exciting young teams. The Pacers might be right where they were last season when Hallie comes back.
Right.
Even without Miles Turner, who by the way is on the Bucks and kind of had a wasted season of his career,
Right.
of his great career so far. Awesome NBA player who loves Legos. But
Yes, he does.
the thing for me is like if you're trading for Tatum, who is what 28, I think
28.
was right.
We talked about. Yep.
I think that if you're trading for Giannis in win now mode, it's kind of more like we're going to win in 3 years kind of thing because you're not just going to throw together
A
all the
roster.
pieces.
Yeah.
Who's going to trade for Kyle Kuzma? Who's going to trade for Miles Turner? And you get any kind of value.
Yeah.
I think you are resetting. You're getting a really good young player, but in my mind, that is more like an Evan Mobley kind of guy.
I think that's fair. I just think I think we both agree on what it's going to take to get Giannis. You're going to need a fringe All NBA level player plus some, right?
every first round pick you have.
For the foreseeable future, like 3-4 years, right? And to me, the team that could live without that the most, besides OKC, because I think we will all agree OKC is the team that can literally put up whoever they want on that bench and probably Shet
Suddenly they're an all-star.
and be A-okay. Right, exactly.
Yeah.
But besides OKC, because I think they're going to win the chip and not want to do anything to that roster, I think the Celtics also had that opportunity. We saw what they were without Tatum. in the regular season. And I'm not saying Tatum's going to be the moving block, but I think one of the JT would be one of them. And then you add someone off the bench potentially, whether it's one of your younger players like Jordan Walsh, or someone else, plus 3 first-rounders. I think that is enough for Giannis. And if I'm the Bucks, I don't know if there's ever going to be a world we get an all-NBA level player like Jason Tatum. That's not guaranteed in drafting. We've seen that from organizations that have been trying to stockpile picks but have not figured that out yet. And we've also seen the fact that even if you do draft guys who's good initially in their career, developing to Tatum level, it's incredibly difficult. So I don't know if you're going to get someone that's going to be that talented and a team's willing to give him up at the age and when he's in his prime. So if I'm the Bucks, I'm willing to accept that and take 3 firsts with that. And I'm not necessarily saying we're in win now, but I do think Tatum on any team, roughly on any team, is a playoff level team. And I think with 3 firsts and 3 of Boston's first, in addition to your own first this year, which what pick are the Bucks? They're lottery, right, this year? Or do they not own their pick this year? Well, we can look at it later. But I think that's enough to compensate and get good pieces early on who can contribute, especially in this draft class if they own their own first.
They do. They have the 10th pick.
They have the 10th. So they have a top 10 pick in a draft.
Our coverage of the incoming class so far has been wonderful. Like, the 10th pick is the best that it's ever been.
So I think you're owning your 10th pick plus the Celtics pick plus 2 other picks in the future. So I think that's enough to. And if I'm the Bucks, I'm like, I can't turn that down. I do agree with you that Mobley is probably, for a timeline perspective, better. But it's hard to be like, oh, Evan Mobley's going to be the guy to develop into our franchise player because you just haven't seen that yet. And that he hasn't been asked of that from Cleveland. That's all.
Boston has 27 this year.
So you have 2 first-rounders this year.
So it's really interesting to think about, where all this could end up with Giannis. But I think that if you're the Bucks, you've achieved your championship that you haven't had since.
That's true. That is fair.
You've done
Kareem,
your thing.
Literally Kareem.
Worst comes to worst, and you don't feel like you can get the value. Giannis is still on your team, and you're still selling number 34 like it's sliced bread when it first was released.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think and this is getting into trying to get into Giannis's head, which maybe I shouldn't do, but he's never going to be the guy or he hasn't shown that he's going to be the guy that's like what James Harden did.
Yeah, literally sit out and force his way.
And look bad, look disheveled, and force his way out.
Yeah.
I don't think Giannis is going to do that to the city that he truly does love.
Yeah.
And the only city that he's known since moving to this country.
Yeah, quite literally. Been a Buck his whole life.
Yeah, all he knows is Milwaukee.
Yeah, I think it's so tricky because that organization's in disarray. Like from top to bottom, their star player wants out. Their head coach should not go the way. Ownership's kind of lost because it's Milwaukee.
Could have told you that about the head coach.
Yeah, we could have told you that. But their owner is trying to work with a small market too. So getting people to come to that franchise is not going to happen. So dark days are ahead for that org. But that probably means you're right then, that they're probably going to hit the hard reset and get a younger level all-star, all-NBA player. So I don't know. Mobley probably fits that narrative, but I don't even know if they want to reset with a big as their guy. Like, do they just go in the direction where
it just makes more sense for contract because maybe he's an overpaid 24-year-old, but ceiling is that he's worth the money.
Like he's a KG level player.
And you're not paying anyone else anyway. You got a bunch of rookie deals. So you might as well have someone that's not worth the money and see where they're going to end up. And worst comes to worst, your pick is better every year because Mobley doesn't pan out.
Right. Yeah, who knows? So we'll see. But, guys, that's all the time we have for today. It was a good segment. And we'll keep you up to date. We're going back to college basketball probably as the draft nears.
We're going to do some mock
We're going to get some mocks going.
We're going to get those back.
We just have a lot to cover. These are the 2 things we chose this week. But every week you can tune in here. This has been 303 Hoops. Until next time.